Well, the main man himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger, humiliates Jimmy Kimmel because he basically refused to bash Trump in... This article labels it surprise patriotism fueled response to the loaded question. You know, as much as Arnold Schwarzenegger has been a bit of a douche lately, like especially over COVID, for instance, screw your freedom. Yeah, that was a thing. His patriotism towards America has always been pretty undeniable. From what I know, any sort of interaction I've had with any interview he's given about America. So I wouldn't really say it's a surprise in terms of patriotism. I think he's always been resolute on that. Some guys down below in the comments will probably correct me, but from what I know, he's always been resolute. So, not a massive surprise, but it's interesting that he didn't take the opportunity, to bash Trump. That's more the surprise, I think, than anything else. And good on him, But I will say this, maybe he's looking to run again for something political in future. He's done a few of these now, sort of political-based interviews. I would go on a limb and say he's probably looking to get back involved in politics again. But anyway, let's take a look at this, shall we? So Jimmy Kimmel was humiliated recently on his own show after trying to goad Arnold Schwarzenegger into an attack on President Donald Trump. Good on him for not taking the bait. But Arnold Schwarzenegger is having a week to remember, and it's not for a new movie or even his Netflix series Fubar. The former California governor delivered a political masterclass on not one but two progressive Disney talk shows. First shutting down Jimmy Kimmel and then doubling down on The View. And this is what I mean. Quite unusual for him to be doing the round. I mean, he's not promoting anything. There's nothing that he's really promoting. So, why is he doing these interviews then? Unless it's just to increase his image. Which I would say that's probably likely. So in both instances, the hosts appeared to bait Schwarzenegger into bashing President Trump. Instead, they were met with something they didn't expect. Level-headed calls for unity, reverence for the American system, and an unwavering belief that the country, the United States, is still the greatest on earth. So, yeah, Schwarzenegger was pressed to comment on President Trump's recent legal threat to withhold federal education funds over California's controversial schooling policies. Kimmel framed his question in a way that implied a shared disdain for President Trump. Do you, as someone who has experience... I can't play it because they'll probably copyright it. But it says, do you, as someone who has experience with predators, how would you handle Donald Trump in this situation where he is threatening to withhold federal funding from our students, from our schools, from disabled students? Oh no, not the disabled ones. Kimmel even referenced a far-fetched idea floated by Governor Gavin Newsom that California could withhold its federal tax contributions in protest. But Schwarzenegger wasn't playing along. And he said the following. Well, it sounds always easy, doesn't it? It sounds easy, but I mean, it doesn't happen. Because every individual in California pays taxes, state tax, local tax, federal tax. So how are you going to stop them from doing that? Then if the IRS is coming after you, this is, look, I just want everyone to know this is all dialogue, this is rhetoric. The left going after the right going after the left. And instead of joining the pile-on, he basically flipped it. He says the bottom line is they should get together rather than always pointing the finger at each other. They should really get together and solve this problem because that's what the American people want. I mean, he's not wrong, is he? And obviously everyone in the audience was like, wow, okay. But Kimmel tries again because he's an idiot. He says, yeah, well, it seems like our president doesn't want to have this problem solved. He wants to create problems here in our country. So, again, this is someone who clearly hasn't got the memo. Or the producer in the earpiece is just pushing him. And Schwarzenegger continued and says, look, people always say to me, oh my God, what's going on in America right now? And I said to them, relax. I came over here in 1968, where it was a disaster. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. There were riots left and right because of Vietnam. Then the attack on the Democratic Convention in Chicago. Then Watergate. And then the thing went on and on. America will always get out of this mess. Believe me, this will be solved. This issue, Los Angeles, always a great city to come to. I'm very, very proud of Los Angeles. I think the key thing here, is that the federal government and the states and the locals work together to solve those problems. And then he continued further. Let me tell everyone here, I travel a lot and I just came back from Europe. And today, as much as 50 years ago, the same amount of people come up to me and say, Arnold, please can you help me to get to America? They do, because it's the greatest country in the world. It is the best country in the world. No matter who is leading it, people come and go. But this always will be the greatest country. And they continued a bit further. It says, I cannot wait to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America and to just once again say thank you, America, for bringing me into this country and showing me this enormous generosity. Everything that I've ever accomplished in my life is because of America. That's the bottom line. And then Kimmel, being an idiot, is like, what were you doing in Europe? Yeah, he's a pleb. But again, this is not new. He's done a few of these now recently. And then after that, he was then on The View. Right? And they tried to push him in terms of immigration, ICE, border policy. And, I mean, he just absolutely ripped him apart. He says, when you come to America, you're a guest. And you have to behave like a guest. Rather than committing a crime or being abusive. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and go and do something for your community. Make this a better place. Which is, I mean, it's true. Like, absolutely. It's a gift to move countries. It's not a right. You don't have a right to go to a different country. And as an immigrant, Arnold Schwarzenegger knows that. And then Whoopi Goldberg and Sonny Hostin continued and tried to berate him. And he says, look, all of this is happening because we don't have immigration reform. Democrats and Republicans have to come together. If they want to be party servants and be party hacks and be tied to the ideology, then it won't happen. He's not wrong. But I think this is a ruse. I think he's running for something. That's what I think. But who knows? Who knows? Good on him, though. The Austrian oak continues once more. The legend, the Terminator himself, terminates these political partisan nonsense questions. So, again, yeah, good on him. I'm not, it is good on him. I think he said some really dumb stuff lately, and I think we can all agree that, some of the stuff he said is completely dumb. But this hopefully signifies a bit of a turning point for him. And, maybe this is just him. I don't know. Maybe this is just him setting up for running for something. But, hey, still good nonetheless. It's good that people are reminded that, it's not right to be allowed in anywhere. You have to give back. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Bye-bye now.